Hello, astrology learners. Thank you for joining Lisa Astro Channel. Today, we are going to be discussing planet classifications that are very important when evaluating the birth chart, and that is retrograde planets and combust planets. In astrology, retrograde planets describe the apparent backwards movement of a planet. This is because the planet isn't actually moving backwards. It's only an illusion. According to NASA, the illusion occurs because of how Earth and the other planets orbit the Sun. At least one planet is in retrograde motion about 80% of the time. The significance of the retrograde planet is deep and complex in astrology. The Sun and the Moon are always in direct motion. That is, they never move backwards. Rahu and Ketu are always moving backwards. That is, they are always in retrograde motion. There are 5 planets that have both direct and seemingly retrograde motion. These planets are Mars, Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, and Saturn. If you pull your birth chart and there is the letter R in parentheses beside the planet, it is in retrograde motion. It means that the planet was in retrograde motion during the time you were born. In the solar system, the planets are revolving around the Sun, with their speeds varying. Planet Earth is also doing the same thing. The Earth is taken as the reference point while doing all the calculations. A planet seemingly moving in the backwards direction is an illusion, as all the planets revolve around the Sun in the same direction. When there is a relative difference in the speed of the planet, they appear to be in retrograde motion. When a planet appears closest to the Earth, is that apparent moment the retrograde motion occurs. This is the particular moment that a particular planet is called a retrograde planet. Let me explain the concept of a retrograde movement through an example. 2 trains are moving in the same direction in parallel tracks. Call them A and B. If B's speed is less than A, then to the passengers of A, train B would appear to be moving in the backward direction. Basically, retrograde motion is an illusionary side effect of planetary proximity. Retrograde planets are very powerful since they are closest to Earth. The most difficult parameter to judge in a horoscope are the retrograde planets. They sometimes give many unexpected results. It can be both good and bad. Since the retrograde motion is radically different than the normal one, it is often considered as disruptive. The question arises whether it is a good disruptive or a bad one. The problems we perceive due to retrograde may be because we are too close to someone or something to see it objectively. Changing our perspectives, taking some time off, getting a little distant, these activities could prove to be beneficial. The retrograde significance can sometimes be transformative. The significations of the retrograde planets in Vedic astrology suffers a lot. The house occupied by the retrograde planets does not function at its best, and the energy of the planet is not allowed to flow normally. Retrograde planets, also known as Vakri Graha, often bring some amount of unfulfilled desire from the past life. We need to learn the karmic lessons attached to that planet in this life in order to experience fewer effects of the retrograde planets. According to the karmic lessons, we have some unfulfilled work related to the significations of the retrograde planets in our chart, and we need to fulfill that in this birth. We have to understand that the unfulfilled desire is very intense from the past life if the Atmakaraka planet is retrograde in the horoscope. Let's take an example so we can understand this better. Suppose we see a beautiful car on the road. In a particular situation, we sometimes may want to stop and look back to see the car again. Our desire to see the car was not fulfilled with one glance. And so, to fulfill the desire, we again look back at the car in order to satisfy ourselves. The retrograde planets are also very similar to this. It also indicates that the unfulfilled desire or pending karma from the previous birth correlates to the significance of that planet. Retrograde Mercury. What does that mean? Mercury is considered to be the significator of communication, logic, grasping ability, intelligence in Vedic astrology. Therefore, a retrograde Mercury will affect intelligence, communication skills. When Mercury is shown in retrograde in a birth chart, it shows that some sort of karmic lesson regarding the communication intelligence needs to be understood in this life. When we understand retrograde Mars, it is considered to be the significator of war. It signifies anger, courage, and aggression in Vedic astrology. It is the planet of action. It is the warrior or commander. When Mars is retrograde within a birth chart, it shows that some sort of karmic lesson regarding anger, courage, action needs to be understood in this life. Let's look at Jupiter retrograde and the meaning of that. Jupiter is considered to be the significator of wisdom, expansion, and health. Jupiter, shown in retrograde in a birth chart, shows that some sort of karmic lesson regarding self-development needs to be understood in this life. Venus retrograde and the meaning. Venus is considered to be the significator of luxury, comfort, beauty, the spirit of joy, and romance. When Venus is shown in retrograde in a birth chart, it shows some sort of karmic lesson regarding the misbehavior with the spouse and needs to be understood in this life. When Saturn is shown in retrograde motion, it shows that some sort of karmic lesson regarding unfinished responsibilities needs to be understood in this life. It can be concluded that the results of retrograde planets in Vedic astrology are contrary to expectations. They are always inconsistent and unpredictable. Again, retrograde planets in your horoscope need to be evaluated by a trusted astrologer to get the entire picture. Now let's discuss combust planets. Understanding the combustion of planets. Sun is a natural malefic. His energies scorch and dry out. Being too close to this ball of fire is not a pleasant experience. So if planets get too close to the sun, it is called combustion. Sun and moon are two luminaries of astrology. If moon gets too close to the sun, it is a no moon day. Amavasya with different energies. If Rahu or Ketu get too close to the sun, it causes eclipses. So again, a very different energy. It is when the remaining 5 planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, get too close to the sun, they are considered to be combust, burnt out and incapable of giving results. In a birth chart, if you see a planet is combust, it'll be categorized with a letter C beside it. Sun is the sense of self, self-ego, self-entitlement, all about me. He doesn't allow anyone else to share the center stage with him. He is the king, self-focused, royal. not much bothered about others who are his subjects. Combustion is like an eclipse. The sun eclipses the planet. If there are combust planets in your birth chart, their effect will last a lifetime. Check out which houses are owned by the combust planet. These will be adversely affected. When a planet gets too close to the sun, he is stopped from giving his results independently. He cannot outshine the sun. The sun draws out the planet's energy. In simpler terms, a planet becomes combust when it comes near the sun at a certain degree, as the sun's brightness, heat, and light diminish the influence and power of the planet sitting beside it. Planets 8 degrees or less in conjunction to the sun are considered combust. If the planets are too far apart, there is no combustion significance. As Rahu and Ketu are shadow planets, they never enter the state of combustion. So that concludes our session for today. If you found value and enjoyed this video, please like it and help share it and support me along YouTube. Please share this channel with anyone you know who is curious about Vedic astrology and would like to learn more. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you can be notified when I upload the next video. I attended the conference hosted by world-renowned Joni Patry, the conference on the future of Vedic astrology. I wanted to share some photos with you. I got to network and meet with some of the world-renowned top astrologers. It was an honor and enlightening experience to be a part of a huge collaboration and join in the discussion of the future of Vedic astrology. This was all very exciting. So take care for now, and I will meet you next week. Bye-bye.